Hello again, internet friends. Got a couple of updates since the last time. Remember this RAM GS8 card that we were having trouble with in the 2GS there, the ROM 3 machine? Well, I asked around on the internet a little bit, and apparently these don't work in ROM 3 machines, even though the maker claims that they do. At least that's what the forums tell me. So that's kind of a shame. They also tell me that they're unstable sometimes in ROM 1 machines as well. My supposition is because they don't have a buffer chip on them. Although you'd think that with just, one load there, you wouldn't really need one, but who knows? Anyway, I ordered a different 8 megabyte expansion for the thing, as well as a SCSI card kit and some other stuff, so we're going to have some fun tricking that thing out here at some point. I've also got something very interesting down here. Hang on a second. So yeah, I just got this package from Sweden. Even though unboxing videos are lame, I've still got it wrapped in the bubble wrap because I don't want to damage it. Because it is so very beautiful. I mean, so very beautiful. So, we got a wooden box. What could go in a wooden box? What's this? Is this an acrylic front panel to this kit? What's this? What's this stuff on the front? I wonder what's underneath of it if we peel it off. Oh, what is this beautiful thing under here? Oh, what is this? Oh, look at that. It's like a half-scale PDP-8i faceplate. Is that not sweet? So this is a contraption, an enclosure that holds a Raspberry Pi upon which you can run a PDP-8 emulator and get all of the blinking lights and the front panel switches and all of the awesome stuff, and I'm really excited about this. I also ordered one for a PDP-1175 half-scale front panel, but it hasn't arrived yet, and honestly I think the PDP-8i kit is a little prettier anyway, but I do want to try to run Daniel Lawrence's D&D on an actual PDP-11, well, emulated PDP-11 on an actual front panel, running RSTS. So, or no, I think it ran under RSX11. I can't remember. I'll have to look in the documentation. But anyway, exciting stuff. It's going to be a fun project. I'm going to film assembling this kit when I get around to it. I also haven't finished editing the PS2 Model 25 videos. I completed all of that and then realized that I'd left out some stuff, and I'm just going to redo the whole editing thing because I'm really unhappy with how they turned out. So, I guess I'll try to do that this evening. Well, no, I can't do it this evening. I'm busy. I'll try to do it. I'm busy tomorrow. I'll do it sometime. Anyway, so today I'm going to work on some 2GS stuff, I think. Over here you can see a couple of 3.5-inch floppy drives. One of them seems to work fine. One of them seems to work fine. The other one seems to work fine, other than the fact that it doesn't eject. There's a gear that likes to strip out on both these and the Macintosh floppy drives. Now, I've got this other 3.5-inch drive that came with the machine that got smashed up in shipping. And the case is all mashed up and it doesn't work. But if it's got the right gear in it, maybe we can take that out and use it in the other one. Also, I've got a couple of 5.25-inch drives. I've only tested one of them. Supposedly the other one doesn't work, but I haven't tried it. And I've also got this other spare one that came with the mashed up machine, which is actually in fine shape. I've never tested it either. Well, it's mechanically, it's not smashed up, I should say. Some of the stickers are peeling off and stuff, but we can make it pretty, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, let's do some disk drive testing first, and then we'll tear some stuff apart. Alright, so the sun is shining straight in this window, so I don't think I can do anything about that. You're going to just have to look at my reflection. Sorry about that, I know I'm ugly. Let's hit the monitor and try this top drive first. Chug, chug, chug. Alright, we got booted up on that drive. Let's hit the eject button and see if the disk ejects. Alright, so this is the drive that's fine. Ooh, the motor's not running. There it goes. Alright. I was scared for a second. It seems to be reading the disk just fine. So I guess the ejection's probably the only thing that's wrong with this one, other than the cable being really dirty. I don't think all of these discs were with the machine originally, because the two of them look a lot dirtier than the other two, so I don't know what's up with that. Alright, so we hit our eject button now, though. It just spins. What to do? Here's our unhappy disk drive. What you can do if you get a disk stuck in these things is you can stick a paper clip through this hole and hit an ejector button in there, but I don't have any paper clips handy and we're taking the thing apart anyway, so I'm just going to take it apart. Now, goodness gracious, there's only one screw in the bottom of this thing, also the way it came, but that's alright. We've got plenty of screws in the busted up disk drive. We'll make this one happy, I'm sure. And then, I believe the bottom shell lifts out of these. Yes, there we go. Alright, I didn't find this until the end, but I better move it to the beginning of the video. But this is a little translucent thing that goes in front of the disk activity LED, and it falls out really easily and gets lost. So I just spent 10 minutes crawling around on the floor looking for it after dropping it. So take this out and set it aside somewhere where you won't lose it, and you'll be very happy. Here you can see the manual ejection thing that you'd be hitting with the paper clip. It's got a little tab that sticks on up underneath of this button here, but we can just push on this, I think, and get our discs out of the way. I would say that we take a couple of these screws out. Well, let's just do it and see what happens. Oh, you can come out of there if you want to. That would suit me just fine. There we go. We've got a couple of wires here. Alright, so they're color-coded and keyed, so we can't put it back together wrong. We'll have to figure out how to get the disk drive unit out of this shell. I took those other screws out earlier because I don't know what I'm doing. Probably should have taken the broken one apart first in case I messed something up in this process, but c'est la vie. Okay, this back plate comes out. Now let's see if we can drop this screw somewhere we'll never find it. You've never done that, have you? Neither have I. This will probably be pretty easy to break those tabs if I'm not careful, so there we go. Oh, no, you don't need to snap back in. There. Alright, it's got a little ribbon cable here. There we go. That'll get her. Alright. Very good. Now we ought to be able to very gently slide the mechanical unit out. Alright, so I guess we've got to take this shield off the top to get to anything. Something's holding it on there, but it doesn't have any screws in it. I don't know if... Yeah, okay, so this pops out like that, and then this just kind of lifts off. Yeah, okay, there we go. So here's our reassembly orientation. I hope I can get it back together. Let's insert a disc and see what all of these linkages do. I'll bet it's down in here somewhere. I'll bet you there's a little gear on the end of this motor that is stripped out. That loosened it up, but it feels like, yeah, here's another screw down here. Now it'll lift out, I think. I don't want to force anything, I'm just, there we go, okay. I'd say that's the dealio. It's got this nub on it that runs inside of this circle and must push this thing back somehow to eject the disc. Stick a disc in and look at that. Yeah, so that circular thing would push back on this and cause the disc to eject. We may just be able to swap this whole unit out of this old disc just to make it a little easier, but I'm going to disassemble this one anyway just to look at it, because I'm sure you are as curious as I am, aren't you? Pop this connector out of here, preferably without destroying anything. I'm just so paranoid, I don't want to break anything. There we go. Alright, something's getting loose here, I can feel it. Thing's probably going to fall to pieces now. I'll never get it back together. Wouldn't that be a fancy trick? Alright. Yep, that's the problem. Can I get you in here where you can see this little gear right here on this end is stripped out? I can probably pull this big one off and so you can see that one better. Maybe I can break it too. That would be a fancy trick too, wouldn't it? Yeah, here it comes. Alright. There we go. It's got several teeth torn off of it, doesn't it? On both of the gears. I'm just going to swap in this whole unit out of the mashed up disk drive. There's no use to disassemble the other one. All that I could accomplish doing that's just to break something else, so I'm going to just leave that alone. Well, our junk drive had a disk in it. Looks like it's been in there a few years, huh? Whew. And look at all this like water damage or something. I suppose it's possible that this drive was jacked up even before it got shipped and torn to pieces, so I don't know. It's definitely pretty nasty and filthy inside. So I guess you learn more when you do it the second time, but there wasn't really any reason for me to remove that cable keeper on the good drive. You can just unplug this connector and take it off. Here's something interesting to note. I don't think it makes any difference in the grand scheme of things, but this is the good drive and this is the junk drive. And these ejection motors are made slightly differently, but it looks like the mounting is exactly the same. This is the ejection motor out of the junk drive, and as far as I can tell from the serial numbers, this is an older revision of the disk drive, so this must be the newer type. This one ought to go in just fine. Everything else looks the same. Much heavier than I was. Alright, cool. Alright, the good one's all reassembled, and I stole some of the screws out of the broken up one. So everything's complete here. Let's just hope that our little unit that we took out of the old one and put in here didn't have the same broken gear problem. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Alright, Super Glare, here we go again. The repaired drive. Let's see what happens. Moment of truth. I can hear the motor running, unlike the other one. go. That's the ticket, boys. Alright, well, now here, let's see if it ejects. Hot diggity. Alright, well, we're good. Here's our 5 1/4 inch floppy drives. The one on top here is the one that came with the mangled system, and it's shipped with a disc in the drive. It's got a lot of funk on it though. I'd be surprised if it still works. I'm a little afraid to try it. Let's see what we can find here, and we'll try them in order and see what happens. Huh. Well, despite being banged around, that one appears to be working. ADT Pro booted up just fine. Alright, let's try the next one. That one appears to be working too. Alright, let's try the last one then. Okay, that one's not working. I don't hear the head moving. So, unable to load ProDOS, it says. Nope, no head movement. Let's tear that thing apart. See if we can figure out what's going on. Well, I've never had one of these apart either, so that says drive 3 on it. It's fascinating. Let's see if we can destroy something here. If worst comes to worst, we can take the guts out of that ugly drive and put into this nice looking enclosure. Oh, looky here, there are a couple of screws here in the back. Now I don't want to set this face down or we'll mess up this door. Now these screws are different than the 4 that we took out of the bottom. Alright. There we go. That's not a metal shell, that's just that sticky RF shielding. That stuff's annoying. Okay, so I guess we've already got the screws out of the bottom. Let's close the disk drive door. I don't want to force it, but there we go. Okay, so there's an LED up here that looks like it just pulls out of this slot here. I don't think it's glued in. Yeah. Hopefully we won't break something here. Well, it feels like it ought to pull out, but it doesn't want to. Yeah. Guess I just need to give it a little bit more persuasion. There we go. You know, this looks like it comes apart remarkably like the 3.5 inch drive. Now there's a ground wire underneath of this screw. And that screw is the same as the 2 that came out of the back, but I'm going to keep it separate anyway. Alright. Okay, now this looks like it ought to unplug from this header, which I probably should have done first. And then this unplugs from this header. Okay, let's make a note here. This one has the white and black wires on the left. This one has the black and orange wires on the left. Okay. I guess we probably could have just unplugged that. Well, no, we didn't have the top off. Now, let's see. There's a wire here. Some little guy that comes out. This one has some text on top of it, and the text goes up. And now the logic board comes out, right? Maybe. Yes. Okay. Now, it's unfortunate we had to do that. I was hoping I'd be able to run the disk drive and see what was going on while we had the thing apart. I think this plate will come off. More ground wires everywhere. Boy, this thing has a lot of parts, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't feel like it's seized up or anything, nor does it feel like there's no resistance. Let's take the rest of this shell off and look underneath. Maybe the motor's jacked up or something. I don't know. I probably took apart way more than I actually needed to. That's a bad habit of mine. Alright, it feels like it ought to come out now. There's no way to take that apart any further. That's got to be how it comes out. I'm just too dumb to figure out. I'll just give it a yank and see what flies to pieces. How about there we go. Okay. Well, there's nothing to see down here, just the motor that spins the disc. This big stepper motor. Let's reassemble this a little bit and try to run it without the case on and see what happens. Alright, so let's stick something non-conductive down in here so that if something catches on fire, nothing bad will happen. And that's too big, shit. We can take this screw out right here and have a lot more free play, assuming nothing critical falls apart. There we go. That's much better. Alright, you just sit over here and behave yourself. Alright, now let's see if we let the magic smoke out of my fine computer. No. Okay. No, it's not even trying to move that darn disk head. I mean, stepper motors don't really go bad, do they? Maybe it's the logic board. Let's take the logic board out of that ugly disk drive and put it in this one and see what happens. We're not going to be able to take the logic board out of this this ugly drive because this is a uni disk, and both of these drives are the Apple 5.25 drive, and I think that there are significant differences in how these work. But I'm going to take that uni disk apart anyway and look at it just in case. So I wanted to document this sticker here before I possibly tear it up trying to get this disk drive apart. It's got this on the back of that uni disk. It says Autogen 6500 and has a serial number on it. So I don't know what this came off of. I'm going to have to Google that when we're finished here. Okay, so despite one of these being called an Apple 5.25 drive and one of them being called a Unidisc, the logic boards on the two are exactly the same. I'm going to try swapping these logic boards and see if this stuff works. All right, logic boards are swapped. Let's see what it does this time. Nothing's touching, is it? No. All right. Yes, sir. Something is untoward with this board. Alright, so we know that swapping in the logic board from the ugly disk drive fixes the problem. So I'm going to put this thing back together and then maybe we can suss out what's wrong with this board. Yeah. Well, there's a mound of disk drives. Let's see what happens. Well, looks like it found everything. All right. I always wanted this game when I was a kid. And I found it with the software that came with that latest haul of 2GS stuff. Looks like it's working. Gemstone Warrior. Ow. Now this is running in Apple IIe mode right now. The 2GS native stuff looks a lot better than this. Well, perhaps this won't run on an Apple IIgs. It just rebooted itself. Perhaps the disk is bad. Yeah, must be. Well, that's a shame. I mean, it's not a pirated copy or anything. It wasn't the copy protection. I mean, it's the original disk, so I don't know. I guess I'll just have to download a cracked version off of Asimov or something. Anyway, let's do something a little more interesting. Maybe. Here we go. So this is what native 2GS stuff looks like. It was way better than any anything else other than the Amiga at the time. Unfortunately, there weren't very many games written for the 2GS. Sad face. That's it for now. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.